like to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Here.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Here.
Councilman Garrick.
Here.
Councilman Accomando is unable to attend this evening, and Council President Mazur.
Here. I ask you to please rise for a salute to the flag, and please remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of retired Long School Principal Dorothy Gorman, and also the anniversary of the 75th anniversary of D-Day. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not to the council.
Thank you. Before we continue with the regular agenda, I would like to present my 5 recipients that are sitting up front with the scholarship. For those who do not know, I have the privilege of giving out a scholarship for the past 19 years to a graduating Saddlebrook resident of the high school. And the criteria basically is to ask them to write an essay of the scholarship is for $500 each. I asked them to write an essay how to better improve community awareness among the young adults, and they all come up with some great ideas. And also to document their community service, which I have to tell you, I had 5 recipients and they all were deserving. So it's my privilege to present each and every one of you with a scholarship. Okay, we on? Okay. First, and this is not in any order, just how I put them down. I'd like to call up Charlene Tripita. Actually, Charlene's one of my babies from way back, so it's dating me. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, so Charlene, she had some great ideas, and would you like to share some of them with you? Okay.
I don't remember what I put exactly.
Yeah, that's okay. Your social media page, which
Oh
is
yeah,
awesome.
I wanted to make like a Instagram page where like the kids can control it and like reach out
the
to
parents can't.
Yeah,
because
well,
we don't
yeah.
know too much about Instagram. Sorry, no. I don't.
so that they can reach out to other kids and try to get them to help do and participate in the community.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great job. And okay, so what are your plans for after graduation?
I'm going to be going to Ramapo College and I'm
Nice.
going to study environmental science,
Beautiful.
maybe with like marketing as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. Mrs. Similuka, actually, she came up with an idea of putting a mural in town. Maybe have maybe a wall. They could paint your wall. I think it would be a great idea.
Not the wall that is on TV.
Exactly, where
It's a
they
different
will
wall.
participate. But once again, we are so very proud of you.
Thank
all
you.
your endeavors, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
in your endeavor, and we hope that you continue to stay active in our community too.
Yeah.
Right? Here you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Jillian Bernardo. I have your thing here too. Would you like to talk about it a little bit, or you rather not? Rather you talk about it, or you talk about it? So you were active in tutoring, recreation, you participated with the field day, St. Philip's, election participation, which I found was interesting, Mr. Similuka. I believe they did some, they helped you with your election somewhere. By handing out papers, how nice. And see,
No
I didn't
comment.
hold it against her. Because he was probably my opponent at the time. But anyway, awesome, that's great. It's well-rounded and that's what we like to see. And where are you going? Or
I'm going to Penn State.
Penn State?
Yeah. And
Wow.
I'm going undecided right now. I don't know what I want to do yet.
Great, awesome, very good. And once again, we're Jillian.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very proud of you
Thank
also.
you.
I'm sure your family is.
Thank you.
Lots of good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sydney. Hey, hi. How are you? Sydney Bernard, actually. You guys are twins?
Yeah, twins.
Okay, there you go. Very nice. All right, would you like to talk about your essay a little bit?
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know what to say about
It's
it.
okay.
I don't
But
remember
your
what I
service
put.
rev- You were.
Yeah, I coached rec cheerleading,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I also like volunteered in my church and school, and helped in the election.
In election, yes, I did see that. You had a
Yeah.
great team there,
Yeah.
Andrew. And I love that your quote there, service is
Yeah.
passion. That is great, and that's what makes our community, is young adults like you, putting your all. We're so very proud of you.
Thank you.
And where are you going to school?
Penn State also, and I'm also
wow.
undecided.
Nice.
Twins.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
Lots
you.
of good luck to you.
Thank you.
Lara. You? Good. Would you like to talk a little bit about your community service?
My community service?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm an EMT,
Yes.
and I've been volunteering for about a year and a half. And so I think that volunteering should be mandatory to apply to college and to be accepted, because becoming an EMT really made me know that I wanted to become a nurse. Because first I knew, but dealing with patients all the time really made me love dealing with patients, and knowing that I wanted to be a nurse rather than a physician, which I was borderline at one point.
See that, it helped you, which is great, because especially the ambulance corps, we need, volunteers.
Especially young people.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that. But anyway, it's great, that is great, and thank you so much. Where are you going?
I'm going to William Patterson for nursing.
Patterson, awesome, very good, well, lots of
Thank you.
good luck to you, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for applying. Okay. Julia McAlevey. Hi. Would you like to speak about your?
Yeah, about my
Sure,
community service.
sure.
Okay, so a bunch of different community service things that I did. I worked closely with a lot of different kids to different capacities. I worked with kids in my cheer gym, underprivileged kids. I worked with the lacrosse angels. I worked with different field days and everything. So it was really to just get involved and be with the kids. That was the main thing for me.
Awesome. May I understand you're the valedictorian?
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful job.
Thank you.
Very good.
University of Miami to study health sciences with a concentration in pre-med.
Beautiful. Lots of good luck
Thank
to
you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. As you can see, they're a great bunch. We'll give them one more round of applause. They did a great job. Sure. Do a photo up? We'll see you at graduation. We were invited to the ceremony, so we're looking forward to coming there too. Thank you. think we'll have just a brief 5-minute recess, so the girls could go on their way.
Good night.
Not even 5 minutes.
Congratulations.
Okay, congratulations. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so it's quicker than I thought. Okay, this time I'd like to make a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public.
Larry Tychek, 92 Claremont. I don't know if I'm disappointed, disturbed, or what, but when we're told something, that there's no time limit for a work session, and we show up, and they limit us to 3 minutes, and there's 2 people talking here, and yet there's a time and place for everything. I'm happy for the kids that got their scholarships, believe me. I'm happy for them. But that's not town business. That belongs done to have a scholarship dinner at the Board of Ed. And that's where that time should be given to the residents to talk about business that goes on. Like I say, I'm happy for the kids that they got. But in most towns, most council people donate their stipend to baseball, soccer, lacrosse, okay? They don't just pick an item out to do it. And I want the public to know that recently our health benefits have gone up 32 to 36%. And there's 2 people sitting up there that cost the town over $25,000 a year. That's $500 a week. The other 2 people, or 3 people, get $100 a week. It's not fair, and it's out of line. And just like we said, the benefits were going to escalate to no return, and now we can't switch insurance companies now because we'll get hammered. And these people are cashing in. Okay, and this is what they give us. They give us 3 minutes up here to talk because they don't want to hear us. Okay? The engineer gave a report tonight. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing to hear his report. The paving, the progress of projects being done in town. He has nothing to tell us. He has nothing to tell us. We're going on this paving project 7 months now. 7 months. And nothing is being done. He don't even know there's guys out there working in the town, putting stripes up, or the business administrator. They know nothing about it. The guys just come in, work whenever they want, do shabby work, and nothing is being done about it. We don't oversee nothing. And this is why we get work the way we get work done like this. It's terrible. And like I said, I brought this up in the work session. The Home Depot, Emil, you'll be interested in this. In the last 4 years, the assessed value in 2015 was $7,000. 2016, $7 million. $7 million. The last 2 years, it's at $10 million. A building or a piece of property that needs to be redeveloped does not increase 41% in 4 years. It just doesn't happen. And I asked the business administrator or the tax assessor, whoever, find me another building in town that went up 41%, that the town's interested in buying. Find me one. Because I don't like what's going on here. Like I said, the planner that wrote the report, or came and wrote the report, I asked the mayor if he ever received a contribution from him. He said he'd have to look. I have the paperwork right here saying he did. Okay? This whole thing is not above water. It's sinking. This whole thing. It just smells bad, this whole project. And like I said, we got to do something about it.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Your time is up.
We got to let the people vote because the people don't hide things. There's a lot of hidden agendas here, and it's just, I don't know. The paperwork isn't right, and it's right here in writing.
Anyone else wishing to be here?
Lose $3 million $1 in 10 years.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor White, members of the Town Council. Thomas Van Winkle, 128 Lincoln Avenue. It's been quite a few months since I've given you guys an update on the Mayor's Youth Group and everything that happened in my life and all that stuff. Yeah. So the Mayor's Youth Group recently met on May 18th. We elected new officers to the Mayor's Youth Group. Our president is Gavin Accamundo. Our vice president, we elected Gia Verno. And our secretary is Amanda Mackin. So we did that, and we're planning a fun outing to Parkway Lanes on June 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. Parkway Lanes in Elmwood Park. So we're going to have a fun time. We've helped out with many of the events this year, like the Easter celebration back in April. Everybody was very helpful with that. Also, we had a couple of our Mayor's Youth Group members march in the Memorial Day Parade this year as well. And we're gonna, I believe, have another meeting in June, right, Mayor, through the chair? Yeah.
Yes. Don't ask me what day, but I know it's in June.
Okay, but stay tuned for that exact date. We'll get that out via email and on social media. So we'll keep going, prepare for the summer. We'll be helping out with the town picnic once again in August. So just check out the Saddlebrook Mayor's Youth Group Facebook page and the town Facebook page. We'll have all the information up on everything we'll be involved with. And in addition to the Mayor's Youth Group, I love seeing those speed signs out there. Actually, I was going to the high school to vote from my house. I walked, I was jogging, and it actually detected my speed of going 11 miles per hour. So I hope I don't get a ticket for that one. But yeah, it's a wonderful thing to see those speed signs. I hope they stay up permanently. Are they permanent?
Yes.
Oh, awesome, that'd be great. That's great. It tells you to slow down, and
thank you.
it gives you nice compliments too
It does.
when you're going the right speed. So I'm glad to see they're gonna stay up permanently, and hope we'll see some more in town. So and that's it. So just with the Mayor's Youth Group, just keep checking our social media and stay tuned.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for all that you do in your Mayor's Youth Group. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Good evening. My name is Douglas McFarland, Hawthorne, 4th Ave, Hawthorne, New Jersey. About 3 weeks ago, I sent a letter to the township, to the mayor and council, also to the VFW commander, Legion commander, about possibly renaming streets or dedicating streets to former military people in the township of Saddlebrook. I can't think of a better day to talk about something like that. I think it's something positive. I live in Hawthorne. They do it in Hawthorne. They don't do it every week. They don't dedicate streets for kids who scored 4 touchdowns in high school. I'm talking about people who dedicated their life to military and protecting us and having the lives that we have. A little bit about my father, Captain Andrew Bruce McFarland. He did 22 years in the Marine Corps, 20 as lieutenant at Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. He coached baseball in town. He started Saddlebrook soccer back in 1978. I had to play soccer instead of playing football. Sorry about that, Bob. But I think it's something that it's positive. It's something that the township should look into. Again, there's a lot of people in the township of Saddlebrook that deserve it, not only my father, but I just think it's something that your town should look into.
Great.
Okay, you guys should, I think everybody
Yes, we
received
do.
the letter.
Yes.
The commander of the VFW reached out for him. I didn't hear
Yes.
anything from the commander at the Legion, but I think it's something that, especially with a day like this, something positive for our former military.
Totally agree, Doug.
Okay?
Yes, we spoke a little bit about it during our work session, and the mayor, if you'd like to talk a little bit about it. I mean, okay. Well,
Sure. We discussed it, and we definitely like the idea. We think that we have to come up with a committee. Certainly, I think I speak for the council, and that we're in agreement that it should be military veterans only, not go outside of that. But a committee, have the VFW and the American Legion be involved and have a selection process, whether it be an application or something of that nature. But it's something that we're seriously considering doing. We need to discuss it a little bit more.
Oh, no, I understand, I respect that, I just think it was something,
Other
I see it in
town-
my town of Hawthorne, they don't, like I said, they don't do it every weekend, they don't, you know, it's something that, it's great, the town gets down there, it's just a positive thing, and I think our military deserve it.
Yes, I agree with you, and like you said, it's how appropriate, 75th anniversary of D-Day. I knew your dad personally.
I know you
and,
did.
He was a great man, and did a lot, not only in the military. I knew your dad from the prosecutor's office. He was in law enforcement as well. So he did 22 years in the military, another 25. So he was in law enforcement. So
Awesome.
and did an awful lot for the town. So
Okay,
thank you
great.
for coming and
No, I do
speaking
appreciate it,
about
and thank you
Thank
for the
you,
time.
Doug.
All
You're
right?
welcome.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Good evening, everyone. Emil Sudol, Van Leeuwen Terrace, Saddlebrook. I asked at the last council meeting about that Home Depot possible deal going through. On the interest rate on bonding, 25 million bucks. You said you would get back to me on that.
I do, when
This-
the auditor was here, we had the meeting in January. He had the sheets, and his interest over 25 years would be $16,584,800.
16 million.
Approximately. We don't know what the rates are going to be. That's approximate.
It's on top of the 25 that were borrowing.
Yep.
Wow.
It's no
Boy,
different
the
than...
numbers are jumping up close to $50 million here now.
Well, we did a bond sale in 2006, $22,905,000. Interest is $16,952,781.82. It was less money, and the interest is high, slightly high.
Wow. Wow. I'm just kind of surprised by that. Once again, I really wish you people would not pull the trigger here and just reconsider and possibly looking at redeveloping this area right here. To lose the amount of ratables of $250,000 a year over that same 30-year span, it's another $7 million, or $7.5 million on top of that. Plus, once this complex is built, if it is built, you're going to have to man this thing with different departments, correct? I mean, additional people, additional salaries will be involved, and medical benefits and everything else. Initially, I thought this was a good idea, but the more I look at it, it's pretty scary. I just think it's a tremendous amount of money. And I think that if we took this area that's right here, this building right here, level the damn thing if it's no good, go up 3-4 stories. You got the old police department and fire department. Level that stuff. Give the fire department a brand new building. Give the ambulance corps a garage instead of underneath it. Or feet right here. The ambulance corps is located right under our feet. Give them their own little building. You'd have plenty of room, and I'm sure the amount of money would be a lot less than this. And the fact that we would not be losing any ratables, which is horrible to lose that amount of money. That's all I got to say about this issue. Like I said, I wish you would, just reconsider. Look at other avenues. Don't jump on this too quick. It's a big thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emil. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, motion to close? Second, all in favor? Okay. All righty. Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. I want to start by saying that the township has mourned the loss of Dorothy Dot Gorman, former principal and educator. She was principal at Long Memorial for a long time, a total of 53 years of devoted service to the township, to the school district. I knew her personally. She was a tough cookie, tough customer, but she was firm but fair at the same time. Underneath, she really had a heart of gold, and she touched thousands of lives, and she's going to be sorely missed. Some upcoming events that we have tomorrow, as a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, we're doing the Chief for a Day, which is, and Tracy Hayes was selected as our honorary chief. What the chief for a day is chiefs from across Bergen County. They select a special young person to take part in the program. And Tracy will begin her day by taking her oath of office here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I have the distinct privilege of swearing her in. Then she gets a tour of police headquarters and holds a command staff meeting with the with all the command level staff. Then she visits Saddlebrook VFW and meets with Commander Lou Varelli and learns a little bit about our military and the sacrifices that they have made for us here in the United States. Then she takes part in a county-wide gathering at of all the honorary chiefs at the Bergen County Justice Center in Hackensack, and then it culminates with a police motorcade escort to a ceremonial luncheon somewhere. I believe it might be at Seasons. So it's a whole day experience, and it'll be great for her. And we've done this before. It's a great program. So that's tomorrow. We have the Kiwanis Fishing Derby on Saturday, June the 15th, from 9 to 12 at the county park. All participants get a trophy, special awards for the top 3 catches by size. We've been in touch with the county parks department to clean up a little bit there. Every year, that overgrowth around the pond seems to get worse and worse. So, Officer Ben is back there. I know he usually stocks. Go ahead, Matty.
Funny you bring that up. I just contacted the DEP 2 days ago. Ron Jacobson and Craig Lemon are the ones that deal with the donation of fish trucks. So I emailed Mr. Lemon. And unfortunately, last year they were going to bring a new process into how they allot fish to county parks. It was an equation of the size of the pond, the amount of fishing licenses sold in that area, and it didn't favor us. Fortunately, that process didn't go into effect. So we'll get one donation from them, and I make my own donation from the muskie hatchery. We'll get some nice sized bass and some crappies in there. They'll be put in, I don't think the day before, and the second or third day before. So there should be about 200 fish put in there.
Thank you very much, Matty. Matty he donates his own funds to for that one hatchery, and they put in about 100 fish. So thank you, Matty. We also have our annual fireworks display, which is Wednesday, July the 3rd at Otto Paley Pond in Saddle River Park. Usually starts around 7 o'clock. The fireworks don't go off until it gets dark around 9. Some recent events, we had our Memorial Day parade in honor of the men and women who served in the armed forces of our country and in memory of those who paid the supreme sacrifice. That was Sunday, May the 26th. I want to thank the following: VFW Post 3484 for organizing the parade, their parade committee, American Legion Post 415, Commander Bob Patterson, the members, the Tejon Chapter 170, the Korean War veterans, Commander George Brugus, and members, Grand Marshal Rich Shanahan, congratulations and God bless him. All the gold sponsors, our Master of Ceremonies, former Saddlebrook Mayor Lou Darminio, who does a great job. Congressman Bill Pascrell took part, Senator Joe Longana, Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, Assemblyman Chris Tully, Bergen County Clerk John Hogan. They were all there participating. Of course, our Saddlebrook Volunteer Fire Department and their Honor Guard, Saddlebrook Volunteer Ambulance Corps, the Police Department and their Honor Guard, and the DPW. Ryan Roy and the members of the Mayor's Youth Group, they marched with the elected officials, which was nice. The Township also dedicated a monument in honor of Saddlebrook residents who were killed in Vietnam. Army Private Howard S. Goldberg, who died December 27, 1966, and U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Thomas G. Romaine, who died April 13, 1969. The monument was to commemorate their 50 years over 50 years since their passing. As was already said, D-Day, the invasion of Normandy, its 75th anniversary was today, when the Allied forces attacked German forces on the coast of Normandy, France, gaining a victory that became the turning point in World War II and in Europe. We also have we had the 6th grade LEAD graduation Tuesday evening, May the 28th. Now LEAD is a law enforcement against drugs, is a collaboration between the township, the police department, the school district, parents, and the students themselves to reduce drug abuse and violence. I want to thank school superintendent, the board of education members, principal and teachers for supporting the program. Chief Kugler, who has always been promoting drug awareness and prevention in our community, has been doing that for about 25 years. Our lead instructors, Sergeant Doug Haberman, Police Officer Chris Stanton, and Detective Mark Buchek for teaching the course and connecting with the students in the classroom. It was mentioned about the speed display boards that we recently put up. The solar-powered speed display boards. They're designed to provide motorists an awareness of their speed with the goal so that they will adhere to the speed limit of 25 miles per hour, especially in school zones. Safe speeds of 25 miles per hour and under are displayed in green, and a message saying thank you appears on the board. Speeds in excess of 25 miles per hour are displayed with a flashing red signal and a message to slow down. We do have funds that the council agreed to purchase an additional, we put up 10, we're going to purchase an additional 10. There are some streets, I know that didn't get, we wanted to do the schools first, but there's a couple of streets, especially President Street, which they're going to get one, Franklin Avenue, Oxford. We get several complaints there from residents about speeding. So they will get, display boards. I believe Falmouth Parkway has one, right?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure. We also got our Clean Communities grant was received in an amount of $26,342. President Street was paved from Midland to Route 46. The majority of that was paid by public service. They had dug up the street to do new gas mains. Also, the township replaced a portion of the water main on that street. So that's all paved. They did a great job. Our property maintenance, that was brought up in the work session. He's getting a lot accomplished. And if you look, he's been cleaning up the commercial area on North Midland Avenue. He's also working with New Jersey DOT, the Route 80 and Parkway ramps. They're going to be cleaned up. They've agreed to come in and do that. He also has met with Habitat for Humanity in hopes of getting help for the residents who can't afford, don't have are on limited resources and funds to get projects done in their houses. So there are funds available to help those people out. Town Hall summer hours beginning July 5th. Town Hall will be closed on Fridays through Labor Day. Employees do work an additional time Monday through Thursday to make up for those lost hours by not working Friday. I want to congratulate the students who graduated or are going to be graduating from the high school, middle school, and elementary school. I also want to congratulate the scholarship recipients tonight. Flo, thank you very much. It's a very nice thing you do with those scholarships, and I can see that the kids and the parents really appreciate it. And lastly, happy Father's Day.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Councilman?
Okay. On May 29th, we held a flood meeting at the Senior Center. In attendance was Mayor White, Councilman Nakamundo, former Fire Chief Thomas Dickman, Emil Sudol, and myself. We discussed ways to mitigate the flooding in town. Hopefully some might be possible. Many of them may not be possible. We also discussed the rating system that exists in regards to the flood insurance rates and how much our residents have to pay for flood insurance. I also learned that Rochelle Park has been holding regular meetings. They've been doing a lot, and I'd like to reach out to them and possibly get over there and see what they're doing there. I want to thank Tom Dickman for all your insight. You've lived it, you've lived through it, so you have a lot of knowledge, and I appreciate your input at the meeting. Our next meeting is going to be June 19th at 7 o'clock at the Senior Center. On May 13th, we held a meeting between the Township and the Board of Education. Mayor White, Pete Ledico, and myself were present. Superintendent Danielle Shanley, Business Administrator Ray Karate, President Steve Quinn, Vice President Kelly Mahoney, and Trustee Angela Robinson were present. We discussed the graduation. Everybody here on the council is invited for graduation. We also spoke about working together and continuing to work together to share information on the website and social media so the residents get more exposure to what we're doing here in town and what the school district's doing. Also, we discussed the budget, our budget and their budget, and we're working very well together. We have a good relationship. Another meeting will be scheduled in the fall. I'd also like to congratulate all the graduates from the Township this June, and I'd like to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Councilman, Councilwoman?
Tuesday in town is a big day. It's the application for the senior housing on Caldwell Street. We had 3 meetings we met with. There's a lot of people that want to get in there, and unfortunately, there's only 30 units. We did give them a sample application, but we recommended, the county recommended that they do it online. So the county will be open for those that don't have computers. Our senior center will be open for those that don't have computers. The doors will open at 8:30. The website does not come up until 9 o'clock. So as soon as the website comes up, that's when everybody will be able to go on and apply. Once they submit their application, they will get a confirmation number. Now, they will be taking 125 applications. Then what will happen, they'll go through the applications. If there's any errors, some will be kicked out. There's a possibility it may open up again, but from what I understand, I talked to the county yesterday. What they'll do is they'll take that 125, go quickly through it to see if there's any immediate errors. If they make a mistake, he wasn't specific, but they look for certain errors, it might be kicked out. If the income is off, and they could see that immediately. But then those people have a chance to get back, to get another chance. After that, once you get your confirmation number, you will get a letter from the county stating they have your application, and they'll set up a time and a date for you to go down and bring all your paperwork. So I just wanted to because I've been getting a lot of calls on what happens if they get their application through. The county will be sending a letter, and then they'll be vetted, each individual, after that. So I did get in to go see the building. It's not done. There are workers on the premises, and unfortunately, our seniors were disappointed because we couldn't take them in. We were at the seniors center on Monday. I have to say, it's really lovely. The landscaping, you live there, Emil, so I don't know if you've seen it, but they really did really nice job. The kitchens are nice. It's a nice size unit for as many square feet as it is. It's really, really very nice. So I'm excited. I hope, those people get in. We decided to do it this way instead of a lottery, because a lottery, all the names would be thrown into a computer, and the computer would kick out who gets the opportunity. This way, by doing it by time. So at 9 o'clock when that website opens, once you're submitted, it's timed, you'll get your confirmation number, and then as that 125, after 125, it will close down. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. And as I said, there's going to be people that are going to be very happy and those that are going to be disappointed. But it is our first project, and it's taken a while. But I have to say, it really turned out nicely. So hopefully you'll all be able to get to see it as soon as they get done. Other than that, I think happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman?
Following up on that, and I think I said this at the last meeting, what was emphasized when the county representative came to the senior center to give the speech, we had, I think, 3 different presentations on one day, was that they will have reps there to assist people with making the applications in case you're not computer savvy or you have a computer. However, it was strongly suggested that due to the limited number of reps and the time it may take to input the information, that if you have anybody that has a laptop or a computer, that you can do it from their home, or if they're more computer savvy than you are, to get to your home and do it there. Not that we're telling people not to go to the senior center to do it, but there will be limited resources. There's going to be 3 people, I think, there, and we don't know how many people are going to show up. So if you're 15th in line, remember, there's 3 people there, so you're on the 5th shift. So try your best to get it done with someone at their home or your home or an office. That's just the suggestion that they made, and it makes a heck of a lot of sense. A couple of responses to some comments. What really happens with the health insurance is that the health insurance agent, what they do is they search for the cheapest benefits that are the same type that was the prior year. So when it says that they went up and we got screwed, that's absolutely wrong. That's just not what happens. The way any insurance company rates you when they make their rates to you is by checking out how much money in expenses they had to pay. So in a year where there's very, very little payments, you may see little or no increase, or sometimes, and we have had a decrease. In a year where there is a lot of payments, I think they call it, the insurance term is experience. So when your experience for that year goes up, if 1 or more people getting benefits through the town has a significant illness, let's say, your experience is going to go up and the rate's going to go up. But what the agent does is he searches for the cheapest, most efficient insurance, and sometimes there's something called a state health benefit plan. And I know that he has gone to them, and the Blue Cross Blue Shield that the employees in the town get was more financially beneficial. It was a cheaper rate. Did the rates go up 100%? They went up. They definitely went up. But it's not as if we were bound to the prior year's provider. That's just not correct. Let's see what I got here. In terms of the Home Depot, it was said that there's an agenda. The only agenda is to help the people of the township and provide a quality building, quality services. Some of the suggestions that have been made, some tonight, some at other meetings, was, well, knock this building down, build another one, and you have a town hall. And then knock the fire department down and build another fire department, and you have a fire department. And don't give the ambulance corps where they are now, build them another ambulance corps. Well, how in the world is that cheaper by building from scratch? Understand that there are 10 parking spaces here, maybe 10 parking spaces here. The parking lot at that Home Depot site is bigger than the entire property that's owned by the township going all the way to the police department. And remember, the police department has very, very limited parking. The fire department needs a new building. Ambulance Corps needs extra space. This building is antiquated. We're not compliant with a number of things. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to get in trouble. But the other thing that people don't remember is that if we are at the depot site, we're not still going to be here. We won't be at Coolidge School. And if we're not here, that means that this property could be sold or leased. And that is going to help with offsetting any kind of tax revenue loss that we might have at Home Depot. And the last thing that people seem to forget is not only is the proposal for a fire department, the area for the fire department, an area for the ambulance corps, an extra area for town employees, which would consolidate the town employees from not being in 2 or 3 separate locations. But we're kind of forgetting that part of this is that there's a rec center. Now, when people say, well, you're going to have to hire new people, well, to take care of things. Well, people have to take care of this, and people have to take care of Coolidge, and people have to take care of ambulance corps, and people have to take care of the fire department. Might there be somebody else that needs to be hired? Possibly, but it's not as if we're going from absolutely nothing to this gigantic building, because we're moving people and we're moving offices from one place to another with sufficient parking, more than sufficient parking. And that's the problem in most places. There is not enough parking. And people talk, there's a gentleman who came to the work session, talked about parking on his block, and I understand his concerns. Well, what about the people here that on court day, there are 3 or 4 blocks that are inundated with people, and they're not residents, they're not neighbors. There are people that are coming from out of town to park on their blocks because we've got 10 spaces here. So I am in for this. I don't think we're rushing. Now, I mean, we've been talking about this for months, maybe a year already. So when people say you're jumping the gun and you're rushing it, well, who's rushing it? We haven't even signed a contract yet. So, get over that thing that we're jumping the gun and we're rushing. We did look at this, and at least I believe the rest of the council is of the same mind, that is the best area for it. Does it cost money? Of course, anything costs money. I mean, building a new firehouse from scratch is going to cost money. Building a new town hall costs money. Building a new ambulance corps costs money. Building a new rec center from scratch costs money. I think that this is a reasonable solution to what problems we have had. The flooding that Mr. Garrick had talked about, I have to say, I'm seeing on TV, and it's different parts of the world. We got this extreme weather. But I was happy that we did not have a significant flood issue, either from the river or from floods, water coming up from catch basins. Could there have been in some areas? Yes. Temporary inconvenience, 100%. But when we see people dying from floods in certain areas and houses being destroyed, cars floating down rivers, I think that the flood mitigation program that we have undertaken by cleaning out our the areas that were problem areas, I believe has worked. Is it 100%? Is it perfect? No, but not many things are. June 21st is the graduation. And I'll say it, I'll catch some slack. I don't understand what the problem is with a 5 p.m. graduation, 5:30 graduation. I don't understand what the problem is with a Friday. Could it be that some people are mad that they can't go down the shore at the time that they want to? Could be. if you don't like it, come and yell at me if I'm calling anybody out, not anybody in particular. I just don't get it. If you can't take off an hour from work to see your kid graduate, I don't know, maybe your job is that important, or you just got a bad boss and he won't let you get off. But I think for a life event such as that, I don't think there should be much concern over that. And again, I'm getting this from social media where some people are complaining and some come back and yell at me and call me names. I don't really care. But I will be there. And I'm honored to have been asked to be a chaperone again. I think this is my 6th time to be a chaperone for project graduation. It's a fun time for the kids, and I honestly, I do it for them, but I do it because it's a fun time for everybody, and I'll enjoy doing that. A couple of things that we talked about at the work session was speed. The mayor had talked about the speed signs, and hopefully you've seen that. You've seen them, and they hopefully will do what they're supposed to do, and that is to let people know what speed they're going. And sometimes you're driving on a larger street, or a wider street, and you don't really realize that you're going 32 miles an hour in a 25 zone. It'll tell you to slow down. It kind of yells at you and says slow down, and it congratulates you if you're doing the right thing. What I talked about, and what we've talked about over a number of years now, are possible areas that might need additional help with quelling speed. I don't want to put everything on Mr. Ladico, and I don't even know if it's proper, but you can contact the town. You can go on the website, contact me. If you feel that your street is a street that's in need of some help with speed. Now, we talked about it at the council meeting. Everyone seems to think that their street is the worst street in the world. What we're going to have to do is look at it. But there are certain streets that we've identified before. But if you know of any street that you would like to be considered for some kind of help, certainly get in touch with the township. If you can get in touch with my email there, or anybody, I'm sure would be glad to take the input. And this way, we can come back and discuss it amongst ourselves. We also talked about the pool ordinance. You might have heard over a couple of council meetings. We talked about the pool ordinance. We're getting more information on that to decide where we're going to go with that pool ordinance in terms of how to calculate what, if any, lot coverage it will be considered. Lastly, the Memorial Day Parade, I was happy to participate in it again. As the mayor said, a couple of people's 75th anniversary of D-Day. It's amazing when you think about the 18 and 19-year-old guys that stormed the beach, and now you see that somebody says the wrong word now to an 18-year-old or 19-year-old. Some of these, they end up going into a safe space and have coloring books and Play-Doh, and these guys are just getting mowed down on Omaha Beach. It's kind of crazy, so God bless them and their families and all the sacrifice that they made. Dougie McFarland was here, and believe me, we are strongly considering his suggestion and his words. I know from going too many times to a sub shop in Hawthorne that they have those signs, and that's probably why I put on about 30 pounds. But we will contact Hawthorne and find out what the criteria is, what they use. It just might help us in doing that. And like the mayor had suggested, that we may form some kind of a committee, because everybody, certainly Doug's father, has 2 pages of accolades, and he probably edited that from all the great things that he did for his service to his country, county, and town. But we will certainly be looking at it. I think it's a great idea. The last thing, again, with the Memorial Day Parade and the memorial services, what we do on the Sunday of the parade is that we go to a bunch of memorials, a number of memorials, and it is, we're honored to be there and humbled by the service of the people, both military veterans and the people that serve the town and have passed away. But one of the speeches that is read at least one of the memorial services is something that I think everyone should hear. I think it's a great poem. It's by someone. It's by anonymous. We don't know who wrote it, but it is read at least one of these memorial services. I'd like to read it now. It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag. It is the veteran who serves under the flag to be buried by the flag so the protester can burn the flag. Thank you. Have a great summer.
Thank you, Andrew. I just have one comment before we continue with the agenda on something that Mr. Tychak had said. This meeting tonight was not your norm. We usually have our work session a Tuesday prior, and yes, you can come up, anyone from the public, and speak to your heart's content, and usually we do allow that. Tonight, because we had time constraints, because it was 5:30 work session and a 7 o'clock regular meeting, I did attempt to mention that there were going to be a time limit. Mr. Ratajczak actually complained about that, and you spoke for 20 minutes. So I don't know which meeting you were at that I actually, didn't allow you to finish. Excuse me, I'm talking right now. I'm talking right now.
You don't know what meeting you were at.
Excuse me?
You sat around for a half hour and did nothing. Well, we could have been talking.
Okay, well, I'm talking right now, okay?
You know what meeting
You,
you were
first of all, you finished your questions.
Pages ago. Pages.
Well, at that point, you did. So, I don't know. And as far as my scholarships, I'm very proud to have it. It's a community effort. We have the young adults involved in it, and I think this is the proper place to have it. And if it took away from, and which it didn't take away from anything, so be it. But that is just as important as anything else.
So how's the fireman?
So, okay, it's not your turn to talk. Anyway. Okay, continue.
All items listed with an asterisk considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or member so requests it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. Not part of the consent agenda are the May 2nd and May 17th meetings and resolutions 11 and 12.
Motion for the May.
Second.
Consent.
Second. Roll call.
For the consent agenda, that would be Councilman Samaluka,
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Dorminio,
This is for the
No,
minutes?
I'm
For the
sorry.
consent
I'm sorry,
agenda.
Consent,
Oh, yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
yes.
We have the minutes of the May 2nd, 2019 meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio,
Abstain.
Councilman Garrick,
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
Yes.
We have the May 17th, 2019 special public meeting.
Motion.
Motion.
For a second. Second. You can second, right?
Yeah.
Yes, second.
Did you second it?
I second.
Councilman Samaluka,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Dorminio,
Abstain.
Councilman Garrick,
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
Yes.
Resolution number 11, payment of bills from His Own Plumbing and Heating. Councilwoman Dorminio will recluse herself at this time.
I have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes. Switch.
Yeah. Resolution number 12 is payment of bills for Stonebrook Garden, and Council President Mazur will recluse herself at this time.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darminio?
Yes.
And Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Okay. Old business? Nah. New business? Anything there?
Yeah, I just got a couple of things. I forgot to mention that our agreement, the shared service agreement with Fairlawn Memorial Pool, Saddlebrook residents are able to join that pool if they'd like, because we have an agreement with them. We've had it for quite a while. And just wanted to say one thing about the old Home Depot building and this whole area in need of redevelopment. Excuse me. You got to look at what's going to happen. Let's say the town wasn't interested in purchasing that property. It's not ideal right now, and this is part of the reason that areas are in need of redevelopment. It's not just because it's fallen down and dilapidated. A lot of times, a building is not being used because it's zoned improperly. Because like that building right there was a Home Depot. The owner of that building has tried to lease it. And there's no one, a department store is not interested because it's just not a great location. So they're having a hard time. So what's gonna happen if the town wasn't interested? They're gonna look to sell it, right? Or they're gonna look to develop it. What are they gonna wanna do? Emil, you can't stand the fact that we got those apartments over there on Midland Avenue. That's what they're gonna wanna do. Okay, now, the town could say, oh, no, they can go before one of the boards and we could say no. But you know what, there's remedies. They could go before the county, they could appeal it, and you know what, they're probably gonna win. And if it sits there long enough vacant, it's gonna start getting dilapidated and the town's gonna get less tax for it. So, well, that would be an option. That would be an option. Right, but developers don't wanna build that because they don't make enough money. So, you know, that's something the town could try to do, but, you know, right now, we're interested in this. And one thing that wasn't mentioned, Mr. Samaluka, you did a great job. Thank you for going through, you know, all the steps that we've taken and really laying out a good, you know, positive reason why we're, you know, we want to do this project. But, you know what, you had mentioned that, I think Emil mentioned, well, you know what, let's just build a new town, oh, new ambulance, a new fire department. You know, in Garfield, that new building, the new police station they're building, correct me if I'm wrong, is it 15 million? It's approximately $15 million, okay, just for that one building. So, you know what, there's no way, your numbers are way off. I'm sorry. There's no way we can, I know what you're saying, build one big building here. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just saying, I think your reasoning is off.
I'm sorry, but
Emily, you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to talk right now. I'm sorry.
This is really unfair.
Well, why? Why? Because you got to stay up there. I could have addressed you when you're up there. I wanted to give you your 3 minutes.
And then during the comments, Andy said,
All right, well, it's-
reasonable project this is, reasonable project.
And
It's
also-
gonna be over
I will,
$50 million.
Emil, it's not a debate session. Let the mayor, please let the mayor finish. We're gonna open the meeting to the public once the mayor's finished.
And the other thing is that nothing was mentioned about the rec center. That's something that, this project cures a lot of problems that we have. The parking is a huge issue. We've never had enough parking. We're all over the place, all the, you know, all the municipal offices, we got 3 different locations. It's just not, it's not good. It's not good. It's a waste of time. You talk about how many, to get 10 people a day to come in, they're looking for the court. They're looking for Violations Bureau. They're looking for the building department. It's time. Time is money. We have employees that have to address that. Oh, well, it's over here. Oh, the police station, it's down there. So, I don't know. It's
Larry, really?
Anyway, look, we can agree to disagree. You know what? I like both of these. You know what? We disagree on this issue. So, you know what?
Why can't we vote on it? Now? Why? Now we're finding out tonight, it's 41 million with the interest.
Larry,
Let us vote on it.
Larry, one more time, and I'm
That's
going to
not-
ask the police officer to remove you from the council. Sorry. Anyway, Larry, finished?
That's it. Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you.
Yes, I do.
At this point,
It's, family membership is 325, adult membership is 160, senior membership is 95, take care of the seniors. Guest fee, you can't do by the day, so it's gotta be one of those three.
thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
A motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to hear?
Larry Tychek. On number 8, it says Great White Mechanical. It says courtroom. That's this room here, the air conditioning was repaired? Right here. So we're getting ready to get out of this building. We just put another 11 grand in. The Golden Pump Station on Mayhill. We went for another 25 grand. Yes or no? Says it right here, right?
Yes.
Did you ever get the reports for the other pump station? That they were gonna pay you $20,000 through the chair to the engineer? They were gonna pay you 19,000 or whatever to give a report on the one on Middle and Avenue? How's that report coming? That's 2 months old. See, you know what we need from you? Results. We need results when you give your report. It's being worked on. I mean, come on. I could work on it. And as far as Home Depot is concerned, not rushing, I believe we had 2 special planning board meetings. We had a council meeting at 3:30 in the afternoon, which nobody could attend, okay, to get this project pushing and pushing and pushing. You're pushing. You're pushing. And what reason are you pushing for? Let nature take its course. You got a planning board meeting once a month. If we're not in a hurry, do it once a month. You got a council meeting once a month, do it once a month. Don't make a council meeting at 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay? That's, like I say, you're backdooring us. That's what it is. Anybody that has any kind of street smarts can see what you're trying to pull over here. You're trying to pull something off here. And eventually it's going to come out. You're rushing. Andrew says we're not rushing. Well, don't have special meetings then. And let us decide. I think us as taxpayers, now it's up, like I say, $41 million with interest. We should have that say, whether we're going to spend it or not. You're going to make it expensive where young people aren't going to be able to come into the town and old people are going to have to move out. That money is not going to fall off trees. And like I say, we are, whether you like it or not, just with the facts that I told you, you are rushing. Okay, anytime you have a special meeting, you want to get something done quick. And so far, we've had about 3 of them. Okay, and they were all phony. All 3 meetings were phony. I attended 2 of them and they were phony. We got to do something here. We can't just, like I say, the number, we should know the interest right from the beginning. 25 million for the building, 16 million approximately interest. Now we're up to 41 million. We didn't furnish it, we didn't staff it, we didn't do nothing yet. And like I say, we can't buy our own tree chipper. Like I said, Maywood was here cutting a tree down on us. Okay, we had to call Maywood to cut it because we don't have that equipment. We're a town. We should have the equipment. Like I say, you can't rely on shared
Thank you,
services.
Larry. Anyone else wishing to be heard? No? Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nothing else?
Yes.
That's it?
We're going to close session.
Oh, closed session? Yeah, okay. Let's go to closed session. Yes.
I can't let it go.
Okay.
I just gotta say one thing, okay? Fast forward 5 years. We don't buy Home Depot. It now has 300 residential units on it. People come up to the podium and say, you guys are a bunch of jackasses. We got a crappy town hall. We got a failing hook and ladder. We've got ambulance corps that still doesn't have an extra bay for their equipment. They have to store it outside. And we don't have a rec center. What's the matter with you? Why didn't you do that when you had your chance? What I'm trying to say is that there are some things that no matter what we do, people will take an opposite view. And I'm certain, I bet my life on it, that if we don't buy this and that happens, the same people will come here and say, we had an opportunity to buy that property. We had an opportunity to consolidate our services. We had an opportunity to upgrade every aspect of the public services that we provide to the residents of the township. And we had an opportunity to give our children a recreation center, and we failed.
Thank you, Councilman. At this point, motion to go into closed session, second, all in favor? We're going into closed session.